Welcome to Commas.
Commas is all things tech.
You see culture and technology coming together.
Life hacks.
The practicality right now and the inefficiency of the internet of buying and selling stuff is extraordinary.
Entrepreneurship advice.
I think the first thing is you got to understand your business inside out.
Love and tech.
We've almost reduced dating to kind of this very momentary snap of a person.
It's going to be a fire show.
I have yet to see something these days that's truly differentiated.
New advice and new inspiration every show.
It really is about the next generation of creators going faster, further than we did.
And now, Sequoia Blodgett.
Now let's start stacking them commas.
On this episode, we chat with an affiliate marketing expert who helps us understand how to make money through affiliates and why Kim Kardashian is actually considered an affiliate marketer herself. Plus, we'll jump into how to outsource aspects of your team and tasks in order to scale if you're a solo entrepreneur. And we'll catch up with former NFL player Ryan Mundy and talk about his transition from the league to tech.
Entrepreneurship advice. Learn from the hottest and most successful investors, founders, and innovators in the game.
Determine your greatness.
It's time to get your knowledge up.
Okay, for sure.
What's good, you guys? Today we have Priest Willis on the line, affiliate marketer to the stars. Just kidding. All jokes aside, Priest is the founder of Affiliate Mission, an affiliate marketing company that helps clients increase sales, grow their brands, and improve customer retention. Welcome to Commas, Priest. How's it going?
I'm doing good, Sequoia. How have you been?
I am great. So I cannot wait to jump into this conversation because there's so many stipulations around affiliate marketing. People have their own beliefs about what it is, but from what I found, it's helped entrepreneurs in so many ways. So before we jump into all of that, tell us a little bit about your background.
Yeah, so I've been in affiliate marketing since the early 2000s. Amazon was one of the first companies that actually started off selling in terms of using affiliates to sell books and DVDs. Again, it was really early, and my friend and myself were one of the first adopters. We started a forum where we would put affiliate banners up, and during that time, it was really ugly. It was kind of blinky banners, and those were the times where when you moved your cursor, you could have words follow the cursor. It was nasty. But as time evolved, so did myself and my friend and my practice, of course, and me being able to help other affiliates. And then I switched from being an affiliate marketer myself to turning into an affiliate manager, which then gave me a chance to kind of start running companies in their affiliate programs. So I started working with larger organizations like BuyCostumes.com, Celebrate Express, ultimately moving to North Carolina, Raleigh, North Carolina, that is, to run Lenovo's.com global affiliate business, which is, $600 million in affiliate revenue alone in some cases.
Wow. So let's really just jump into what affiliate marketing is, because like I said, a lot of people have heard about it, but they just do not know what it means. So can we jump into that?
Yeah, that's a really good point. So, one of the things I want to say about affiliate marketing is what it's not is MLM or ballroom
right.
hope. A lot of times people believe that affiliate marketing is somewhere in the mix of MLM, multi-level marketing, or something along those lines. So what affiliate marketing is basically is you can earn a commission essentially by selling other people's products, typically on a website or through your social media. A lot of times today, you'll see influencers. I don't care if it's Kim Kardashian or some other influencer out there on YouTube, Instagram, some other form. They may have their own blog, of course. A lot of times that's through affiliate marketing. They're just simply selling other people's products and they're getting a commission. Either it's by percentage or a flat dollar. And that's how they're building partnerships with other large companies. So again, a lot of times people mix it in a bag with MLM, again, multi-level marketing, and just write it off as scammy. But affiliate marketing is really the beachfront for a lot of large organizations. I just mentioned Lenovo, that I run their global business, but other Fortune 500 companies, larger businesses, smaller businesses, they also use affiliate marketing as a huge, huge part of their business.
Yeah, I'm glad you actually mentioned that because even with Commas, we just opened a Commas shop, which is like our store. And essentially what we've done is we use Amazon as the back end, like they're the fulfillment, obviously. And what we do is we have books from all other entrepreneurs like Damon John and like Think and Grow Rich, all these books that, obviously cater to the entrepreneurship space, but we don't actually have to fulfill the orders. Somebody will come on, click, and then we make a percentage of that. So I think that that's something to definitely consider as an entrepreneur. How do you factor that into your business? So what are some other ways that you've seen entrepreneurs address affiliate marketing?
Yeah, I mean, and a lot of times it's obviously to sell books or products, and this can be done when you consider this is a very low risk way for both sides. So for you, for example, you don't have to house any inventory, so there's no real investment on your side. But on the flip side, for the company, there's no real investment for them either. I mean, you kind of already have a blog going and running. So there's nothing that they're really investing. You're still driving the eyeballs to your website. You're still focused on growing your brand. So it's kind of two people lifting each other up. But affiliate marketing is interesting because it has its hands in so many different things. So you could look at mobile, search engine marketing, whether it's paid search, different display media, even search engine optimization. So a lot of times what some companies will do is even if before they get started in other paid media, because companies are typically starting off on a shoestring, they'll start with affiliate marketing because it's a very low fruit, low barrier process. So again, you'll do a startup fee to get a network set up for your business. I'm talking to those who are entrepreneurs and they're selling widgets out there. You'll have a low barrier to get into the business. You'll find different influencers or affiliate marketers out there to start selling your product, but that's it for you. So there's no other investment other than trying to go out and now recruit influencers and other people to sell your product. And likewise, if you're a believer in the product and you're already buying the product anyways, for you, there's no risk either for you to promote an item, or if you have a podcast or something along those lines, for you to start promoting that business and then driving that business through your affiliate links. So affiliate marketing can play in any digital marketing aspect that you can think of, even email marketing or whatever you can think of in terms of digital marketing. Affiliate marketing can play a role there.
So let's break that down a little bit because you just gave us an example of two different sides, right? So in our case with Commas, we are basically promoting other people's products. But then there's the case where you're actually an entrepreneur and you have your own products to promote. So what does that path look like?
Yeah, so if I'm a company and I'm selling a widget or whatever the product may be, and I decide I need to get my product, my brand, my name out there, but I there's only so much money I have. There's only so much budget I can do that with. A lot of times what I suggest to those businesses is, first of all, consider affiliate marketing. So there may be some very small tactical paid search stuff you may want to do just to keep your name out front. But affiliate marketing would be one of my major focuses. And the way that I would do that is I would simply go out, look for an affiliate network. A lot of large ones are like Commission Junction, Share a Sale. Typically, those are $500 to start up. You would literally just fill out all your business information and your account would be set up. So if you ever go to Target.com, Lenovo.com, you look at the footer of their website, it says affiliate program. And when you click on that link there, you can literally start signing up for their affiliate program from there. Well, the same for your business. So you would put something at the footer of your page, because affiliates are kind of taught to look on the footers of the merchant pages. So, of course, you're now a merchant, and you should have that at the bottom of your footer. And then that sign-up page for whatever network you have should start driving those affiliates to those pages. And once they're signed up, now, again, this is something you want to look at based on your profit and your margins, but you want to determine how much is it that you want to pay the affiliate. Is it $10 or is it 10% for that product? And that's what you'll come to an agreement with the affiliate. And once they start driving traffic to your site, then you're going to pay them that amount for whatever that product is. And that's how the relationship will start to pick up. And then organically in some respects, because keep in mind, these are maybe YouTubers or influencers or creators somewhere that are either doing open boxes or unboxing on YouTube pages. They're mentioning on Twitter. They'll start talking about your product out there and driving views that way. So again, it's relatively low risk. I mentioned that it's about $500. There may be some startup for a manager like myself or bringing someone else in, but it's really a good opportunity for you to expand your business.
And then, so how actually does that funnel work? Are you using Facebook ads to push the conversation, or some Instagram ads, or some type of advertising? Like, how do you get the traffic based off of you putting up that link? Or are you solely dependent on an influencer or somebody else who's that affiliate to drive that traffic for you?
Yeah, largely you are depending on the influencers or the affiliates to actually be the ones to drive the traffic. So if you're talking about promoting your affiliate program, sure, you could do that through some Facebook ad, or you can just promote it organically on LinkedIn, or just kind of put it out there that you're starting an affiliate program. And of course, there's blogs and forums that you can get into, and we could kind of go down that rabbit hole of Reddit and other places. But largely, when you're your main goal is to find the affiliate. So that affiliate manager or someone that comes into the role would be your affiliate manager person to help do recruiting. So they would go out and look for qualified affiliates, whatever you're selling. So in Lenovo cases, if they're selling computers, you're going to go out on YouTube and literally start handpicking people that are doing unboxing and understand the tech space. And maybe you have already talked about Lenovo products previously, and you're going to reach out to them and say, hey, do you want to be an affiliate? Do you want to start earning commissions on the YouTube views and traffic that you're sending to us? So you're kind of putting that onus a little bit towards the affiliate. But of course, you're still driving traffic to your site anyways, because you have a business to run outside of the affiliate program.
Right. And so is it cheaper, or is it more inexpensive to just have the affiliate program? Or should you be looking at a combination of both your ads and your affiliate program? Or should you be just focusing on ads in the beginning, and then when you get enough, revenue, start to bring in affiliates? What's that process like?
That's a really good question. So I always, when I talk to businesses, I always kind of say, you want to start where you're at, honestly. So, a lot of times what people are doing is they're pouring a lot of money into Facebook ads. They're pouring a lot of money into SEM. They're pouring a lot of money into these other efforts, and they're not necessarily driving the results that they're looking for, and they don't have the budget to begin with. So they're racking up credit cards and other stuff. If you have the budget, then I would say doing a mix of both is great, including affiliate marketing. But if you don't, then I would really start focusing on the organic pushes. So obviously I would be doing search engine optimization. So that's the organic side, and let that build up a little traffic until you can start paying for, SEM and paying for paid media. But for affiliate marketing, I think that's worth your investment of going out, finding a network, and then looking to the affiliates to help you build up that organic traffic. So again, based on my budget, if I had a real small budget and relatively nothing, I would really consider doing affiliate marketing and focusing on SEO. If I had the budget, then I think a mix of both would be the ideal approach.
Nice. And I know you've had the conversation about influencer marketing as well. So when it comes to influencer marketing, how do you tap into those individuals, and what does that usually look like for your budget?
Yeah, a lot of times there's different tools out there that people may use. Programs may use, affiliate managers like myself may use. There's companies out there called Media Rails, which does a lot. And I don't have any affiliation with them. There's nothing I get from this. This is just solely for the purpose of helping people. But if they use Media Rails, there's other search companies out there that help you find. So let's say, for example, I'm selling widget A, which is a competitor against widget B. Well, I'm looking up search results that's driving, or who is the top drivers of traffic to my competitor. And once I find out those people, I want to see if they're influencers or if they're affiliates. And if they are, then I want to offer them an opportunity to join my affiliate program. So there's different tools out there that people can use, Sequoia, in terms of, how can I start using people to help me drive? And keep in mind, some of this is going to be a little bit more laborious. So you will, in some places, if you're doing it yourself, this is why you may want to look for an affiliate manager, but it may require you to have spreadsheets, and you're literally typing in YouTube, ThinkPad Yoga, and you're finding out people that are doing unboxing and literally putting their URLs in a spreadsheet and tracking who those influencers are and then reaching out to them separately. But there are really tools that start aggregating some of that for you and leave some of that work out, and you could just start reaching to people on kind of a bulk effort, if you will.
And what is
Media Rails would be one of those tools.
Perfect. And what's the price point normally look like? Like, what is that range? What should you be looking or allocating toward your budget for that type of service?
Well, if you're looking for an affiliate manager to join on, I'm probably thinking you're going to pay somewhere about $1,200 a month, maybe for an affiliate manager. Now, what a lot of companies tend to do is they find a very junior person and they send them off to a conference or something along those lines and say, look, become an affiliate manager. And I know that sounds really like, yeah, become an affiliate manager, but there's about a 6-month learning curve for people to understand the terminology, how the business works. So it's possible for you to find someone junior to pay less money than that $1,200 I mentioned. The network I talked about being about $500 typically as your entry point, and then you're going to pay about $25 a month to keep managing it. So if you had 0 sales, you're going to pay $25 a month to keep that open. And then there's the cost of doing recruiting, which is very nominal within itself. So it could be as high as $1,700, $1,800, or it can be as low as, from a monthly standpoint, it could be as low as $50 to actually manage the affiliate program and do it, relatively seamlessly.
But you're still paying the influencers too, correct?
You're still paying them part of the commission, right? But think about it: if you're not selling the product, 0 plus 0 is 0. So, that influencer is kind of selling that product for you. So yes, you're giving them whatever percentage or dollar amount that you agreed to on top of that sale. And that's the other good part about it, right? You don't actually pay that influencer or that affiliate person until the sale is actually made and completed, essentially.
Okay. So that's good to know. So it's not like you're allocating your budget to the influencer too. You're also giving them a percentage so that they're actually getting paid off of the sale of the product or service.
Yeah, that's the beauty of it. As a business, you can sort of see it as an expense, right? Because it's not necessarily coming out, but the sales are already done through the month. And typically, you're not paying out affiliates until 30 days after. So if I'm starting up in a business on the first day, I don't start paying out affiliates until 30 days later, depending on what network you're in. They have what's called locking periods, so they're checking for fraud and other stuff. So they allow that business that time to cancel or reverse orders if needed, if something was done fraudulently. So affiliates aren't paid until 30, sometimes 45 days later. So that gives the business time to sort of go through its finances and then pay them accordingly. So you're holding the money first at the end of the day.
Okay, so I think it's super important to talk about other ways that you can leverage affiliate marketing too, because obviously people are putting out content with podcasts and blogs and not getting the traffic. So what are some ways that you can leverage affiliate marketing through those channels?
Yeah, one of the key things that I found, so as you know, being a past guest on my show, so I have a podcast as well, and initially you would have people approach you about being sponsors, and I looked at the numbers, and I didn't know if it made a whole lot of sense for our podcast. They base it sometimes based on your downloads and other stuff, as a lot of people who may be listening and have a podcast might know. So one thing that was brought up one time during a meeting was, hey, man, you should leverage your affiliate partnerships. And I have partnerships with people like Namecheap and others that people can imagine or they can just hear on the podcast. And I was like, that made total sense. It allowed me to have the flexibility to put whatever partner I wanted to put up during my podcast episodes. Even if I decided to sign up with a new affiliate partnership that week, I can decide. So at one point, cryptocurrency was like a really big thing. It blew up last year out of nowhere. And I decided to partner up with a cryptocurrency company and join their affiliate program and literally ride some of that wave within the crypto space from an affiliate perspective. So there was no risk to me with the coins or anything, but I was able to kind of play into the space as I was learning about it. So the flexibility there for my podcast could be said the same for blogs too, right? People are writing blogs all the time, mentioning products, mentioning companies, whether you're talking about, the market crashing and naming companies in specific or just writing blogs, on LinkedIn, encouraging people, use that opportunity to also leverage some of the affiliate partnerships that you sign up. And again, I always tell people, Sequoia, to join up for affiliate programs that you're already talking about anyway. So don't go off and try to do anything cool or super sexy like I told you that I did with cryptocurrency. So don't listen to that part. But, do stuff that you know and that you could talk about. So if you're already writing 500,000 words about something and it ultimately makes sense to kind of just lead them to your affiliate page and you're not doing anything smarmy, you're adding value. You're giving people a service because you're providing very valuable content from a podcast or a blog and then saying, buy here. And I think that's where, you talked about being spammy originally or whatever. A lot of times people think that you're hiding links and people are just clicking on it and surprised that they're landing on a different site. No, I mean, everything is fluid once somebody is reading your blog, listening to your podcast. It should be seamless that, oh yeah, of course I'll click on this Amazon link and buy this book. That's exactly what they talked about or alluded to within the post.
That makes a lot of sense. I get it from the blog standpoint because obviously, so like I'd bake when I was writing content, I would bake actual links into the content. So then like I would get a kickback from that, right? But like from a podcast standpoint, does it then take the person logging on to whatever you mentioned during that? Like how does that process work?
Yeah, so a lot of times what my editor does, so typically what I try to do is align it. So let me give a very recent example. So I had a person on my podcast. His name is David Stein. One of the things that he talks about on his popular podcast is about Bloom, which is a 401k service. You pay $10 a month, and they kind of go into your 401k and manage your 401k, if you will. So they add any white space that you may have let go within your 401k. So I knew ahead of that interview, like, hey, Bloom was something that I wanted to try, and I'm going to join up as an affiliate person if I believe in it. So I tried it for 30 days. I knew David was coming on, so I knew it would be seamless to have Bloom on in terms of me actually reading the script and saying, hey, join Bloom, and today you'll get $10 off or something along those lines, just a quick 15-minute quip from me. On his podcast. Nobody has ever written back and said, Priest, that seemed really odd that you would have this person on and have that. I try to have something that literally jives with the conversation. So there's always something that I've tried. People know that I've tested to some degree, and it doesn't seem too far off the range from the guests that I've had on. We're talking about finances, so as we're leading into the commercial, there may be a quick break, just as there would be if you're watching TV and any other podcast that you've heard. And again, this is an affiliate partner for me, so it's not some sponsorship that I'm kind of beholden to at this point for downloads and other things. I can kind of move in and out how I want to with the affiliate partnerships.
So that's the only difference is if it was a sponsor, you would have to meet their metrics and their analytics. That's and right. Then, but because it's an affiliate, it doesn't matter. It's basically like if you decide to go log on, that's the confusion I guess I have is like, how do you get them to your link if you're like talking through a podcast?
Yeah. So a lot of times, when I mentioned using Bloom as the example, I'm simply saying to them, here's how I've used the 401k Bloom, and I'm going through the discussion points. And then I say, go on to the podcast page today and click the link where it says 401k. So I'm if someone is in their car, you might have lost them between them being in their car and going to the office. So that I'll give you, right? But typically people are maybe sitting down at their desk or, they're at their phone. And even at that point, they're kind of clicking in. And I know that because I can see the views and, the people purchasing, the different 401k points. So, yeah, it just makes it really, really seamless and effortless for me because I don't have to give any downloads or any metrics. And I can kind of build quietly my podcast by myself and move in with the affiliate partnerships. And from their side, they don't care how you're promoting them, essentially. Well, they care, but they don't care in the sense that, are you doing it on your social media pages? Are you doing it on your podcast? Great. Whatever you got to do to get our name out there, good. That means more sales for you and then ultimately more commissions. And so, again, that's why affiliate is it can be a fluid transition if you're doing it with the right partners, known merchants, of course, and if you're doing it with the right networks where it's not some creepy back end that you're not familiar with.
Wow. This is all amazing information. If somebody wanted to contact you in regards to bringing you on as an affiliate manager or get more information in regards to what you do, how would they go about doing that?
Yeah, just feel free to connect with me out on Twitter. I'm at Priest Willis, first name Priest, Priest, last name Willis, Willis. I'm sure if you typed in Priest Willis Marketing, you'll find me out there somewhere, LinkedIn page out there, and I'm pretty much responsive towards all the social media parts.
It's life hacks.
Life hacking, baby.
Tech tips and tools for everyday needs.
Tap in.
Control, copy these shortcuts and simplify your life.
You heard us.
So if you're a solo entrepreneur, pay close attention to this because I've got the life hack for you. So normally when you're starting out, you're doing everything. Your marketing, your advertising, your customer service. You are wearing so many hats. Well, if you visit the website Fiverr, you can outsource most of those responsibilities. So this is what I've done in the past. We needed marketing funnels set up, and I totally did not know how to do that. So not just did I need to outsource it, but I just had no clue how to do it to begin with. So I found somebody who set up our marketing funnel and ActiveCampaign, and I was able to actually see that funnel process happen, which was really cool. They were super communicative. They jumped on the phone with me, and they were like, okay, what do you need? And we broke down the messaging, the copy together. I told them when I wanted someone to exit the funnel, to stay in the funnel. And they were like, okay, great. And they got it done for a nominal price. I also had a situation recently where the job was just not up to par. We went back and forth for a little bit trying to figure out a solution. And we both came to the conclusion that we were just not going in the right direction. So essentially, I requested a refund and he was able to give it back just like that with no complaints. I've also used them to create engaging posts for my different social media platforms. They've done a bit of website design for me. I've had them edit content when it came to certain things that I needed done immediately. So I would definitely suggest visiting Fiverr if you're a solo entrepreneur or you're just starting out and you don't have a huge team or a whole lot of budget to spend, because you can get a lot of things done for really cheap. Check out the website at fiverr.com. That's fiverr.com.
Yo.
Love, life, and tech.
With Sequoia Blonde Jet.
Just part of our culture.
Because balance is real between the swipe culture, mental health, personal growth, career, and just about everything in between.
Just keeping it real.
It's a lifestyle.
Incredible vibes, incredible people.
Love,
Life.
and tech.
A lot of folks are transitioning from various careers into tech or tech investing, or at least considering it. On the line is former NFL player Ryan Mundy, whose career started with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Then he went on to play with the New York Giants and Chicago Bears before eventually settling into tech. So many questions, but before I jump into them, welcome to Commas, Ryan. How's it going?
I'm doing wonderful. It's getting a little chilly here in Chicago. It was unseasonably cold, but despite that, I am doing just fine. How about yourself?
I feel that. We are not cold out here. It is still summer, and it is. And it probably will be until next year. Tell us about your career with the NFL.
So I'm originally from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Coming out of high school, I went to the University of Michigan, spent 4 years there, and then had a graduate year. I went to West Virginia University and subsequently got drafted back to my hometown of the Pittsburgh Steelers in 2008. And my rookie year, we won the Super Bowl, so that was pretty cool. You know, a lot of guys. Thank you. A lot of guys play for a very long time and don't even have the opportunity to come close to a Super Bowl, and here I am. Walking into one, literally my rookie season in my hometown in front of all my family and friends. So, couldn't really imagine that or try to, produce a movie script if I tried with that one. But it was great. So I played 5 years there. Then, as you mentioned, had a brief stop with the New York Giants in 2013 and played one season there. And then for the 2014 season, I came to Chicago and played 2 seasons, 2014 and 2015. and ultimately walked away from the game of the NFL in the summer of 2016 after 8 seasons as a professional NFL athlete.
So what made you walk away?
I knew that I was on the back nine of my career, to use a golf analogy. My goal was to play 10 years, and I was well on track to do that plus some. But during the 2015 off season, I had a back injury that subsequently required surgery, and that surgery shifted the paradigm of me wanting to go back out there and run into people for a living. I just didn't have the same mental paradigm, or as I mentioned, like I just didn't have the same outlook towards the game of football. And beyond that, I was already taking advantage of educational opportunities offered by the NFL, participated in stuff at Wharton and also the University of Notre Dame. And then also, as things would have it, I started my MBA at the University of Miami, Florida that winter. So things were already kind of brewing for me off of the field, and I was thinking about what life like beyond that. But unfortunately, my retirement was accelerated, as I mentioned, due to a back injury.
So I met you during 500 Startups Demo Day. Were you already, or were you still playing at that point, or were you starting to transition into tech?
No, I was like newly, quote, retired, so maybe not even 2 months.
Oh, wow.
Retired. And during that phase, like I was just aggressively pursuing any and everybody who would talk to me and, spend 30 minutes here or an hour there just telling me what you did and how you did it. I went through this whole fact-finding and exploratory phase to learn about not only tech, but just investing in life outside of a stadium, business, strategy, operations, you name it. I just wanted to learn and soak up as much information as possible. So I just went on this whole cold email campaign, saying, hey, I'm retired from the NFL and I would love to just chat with you and learn about what you do, how you do it, et cetera, as I mentioned. And I had a really good hit rate, so I just kind of parlayed that and rode the wave, and one thing kind of parlayed into the next, and then that's how I ended up at 500 Startups.
That's awesome. And so you were saying that you started with investment specifically in mind. So you started Tech Leap Ventures. What was that like, transitioning and then becoming an investor?
It was actually very scary, to be honest with you. But I had this, during this whole process of me like fact-finding and exploring, I felt like I was picking up the concepts and I was understanding the mechanics and everything. And it got such to a point where I had to make a decision. Do I want to go get a job, or do I want to kind of continue on my own and, I guess build something? And I opted to do the latter because of some irrational confidence or some sort of hubris within me that said, hey, you know what, give it a shot and see how it goes. And fortunately, I had a runway financially due to my previous career, and I had some time, and I felt like I had the network and the resources and the access, the level of access to, start to see some interesting opportunities. So, that's kind of what gave me the gas to go out there and start Tech Leap.
So what were some of the first investments that you made from your fund?
I didn't make any investments for a very long time because, again, I wanted to just learn. And, I had to figure out how to get my deal flow to a certain quality. There's a lot of people out there, trying to raise money, but that doesn't mean that it's a right opportunity for me, particularly when I'm exposing myself to a certain level, because I don't have any LPs or anything. I'm investing my own money. So that's a whole different ball game. And when you start to put in the context of how I made my money, as I mentioned, literally running into people, I should be very cognizant and careful about how I invest that money. So I was very, cautious for a while and making sure that I was getting the mental reps and going through the proper exercises and kind of flushing out some of the kinks, or to the best that I thought I possibly could. Eventually you do have to start pulling the trigger on some opportunities, but I just wanted to make sure that I felt like I was comfortable enough from an acumen level and tried to build as much experience as I could from deal flow and perspective before I actually pulled the trigger.
So have you pulled the trigger at all yet, or are you still trying to figure out what is a good investment for you?
No, I definitely have pulled the trigger.
Like, are you still thinking about it?
Yeah, no. I mean, you can't call yourself an investor if you're not actually investing. So, that definitely that can't happen. But I pulled the trigger several times, and it was at a really interesting time. And I'll just give you like a quick backstory. Because I am, like a angel mercenary investor, I could invest in whatever I want to invest in. But there's responsibility with that because, I need to keep up with trends and understand how things are going and where things are headed and how they're moving, et cetera. And that's how blockchain, tokenization, cryptocurrency got on my radar because everybody started talking about it. I was like, well, what is this? I need to learn about it. It seems like it's going well, and it seems like it's happening really fast, and I would like to get on this train. So a lot of my activity ended up in like the crypto and blockchain space. So it wasn't like your traditional venture style investing, where it was like a seed round or a Series A round. Although I have done like 3 or 4 deals like that, a lot of my activity initially was just around getting in some like projects from an ICO perspective, or just understanding, tokenization projects and that type of stuff. So that was really how I kind of got going initially, and then from there started to look at some other traditional opportunities as well. And so now that puts me at a place where, counting in my head, probably around 8 or 9 deals right now. About half of those are in the crypto space, and I sit on some advisory boards for some of those companies as well, which has been a good experience. And then even beyond that, I sit on like different advisory boards for like the state of Illinois and the NFLPA. So like things are going very well. But it was like this whole long process, again, for me, as I mentioned, laying a foundation and making sure that, I was thoughtful about how I was moving forward.
So let's talk about that for a little bit, because a lot of people are really nervous about investing in the crypto space. What made you decide to do a crypto investment versus your traditional, like you said, seed fund or like Series A type of investment? Yeah,
sure. Again, I didn't jump right into it. I wanted to make sure that I kind of understood the technology, one. And then the two, I think, which is equally important, is the ethos of blockchain technology, tokenization, and Bitcoin. Like, why is this thing even here, and why is it important? And for one reason or another, both of those clicked for me really, really fast. And so with that, I felt like that was accelerated my time horizon. And then additionally with that, thinking about just the whole tokenization blockchain ecosystem, there's an element of liquidity that is not available with traditional investments. So as I'm sure you know, with the traditional investment, when you invest into like a seed stage or a Series A type company, that time horizon for a return, if there's a return at all,
right,
can be a long process. But what had everyone excited about crypto and tokenization was like, hey, man, I could invest in this project or work with this team, and I could achieve liquidity in a matter of months, if not shorter, depending on when I got in. So I think that was a real eye-opener, and it gave a lot of people a lot to think about. And obviously, I think folks thought it was going to be like that forever moving forward. I wasn't one of those people. But I think it gave a lot of folks in traditional investments and also in the crypto community a lot to think about and how to move forward because there's obviously something there, but now we just have to move forward with the right paradigm and the right mechanics to make it sustainable.
So that's shocking to me because for somebody who was so cautious going into the process, you threw caution to the wall all of a sudden with crypto. You were just like, hey, I'm going to try.
Right. No, that's why I had to lay out like those two things. Like, so one, I got it quickly. And then two, I had already felt like I had enough experience just like being in the ecosystem to like run through a due diligence process or drum up some interesting deals. I felt like my network was at a level where I was comfortable at, and my deal flow, was of a certain caliber and quality. But again, as I mentioned, like the most appealing thing about it was just the element of liquidity that I knew just wasn't available with traditional investments. And then circling back around to me, investing off my own personal balance sheet, no one's paying my salary. So when money goes out, I need to figure out how money comes back in. And, if there's opportunity to cut that time horizon down, then I should strongly consider that. And that's what I saw in the crypto and tokenization blockchain ecosystem.
Makes sense. So you just started your own company, and now you're doing the entrepreneur thing. So tell me a little bit more about that and why you decided to do that.
Yeah. So the company that you're referring to is Swizzle, and we provide alternative plastic straws, both on a consumer level and also on a commercial level. I'm sure, it's at the top of consumer consciousness now about just how much plastic waste goes into our ocean, and states and cities, and even here in Chicago, a referendum, voters voiced their opinion of, I think, around 60% expressing their desire to have a plastic straw ban. So this thing is happening, and it's happening fast. And when you ban something, you need to think about what the alternatives are. And so, like, straws they're not going to completely go away, but they probably more than likely will be less frequently used. But there's still an opportunity to insert an alternative product there, and that's where my company steps in. So we provide stainless steel, paper, and we call it ecoplastic. The technical term for it is PLA, which is a form of sugar cane, and also cornstarch straw that looks like plastic, feels like plastic, but it's biodegradable and compostable within 4 months. And I thought this whole process was important to me because, again, thinking about cash flow, and if I'm investing and there's money going out, I need to think about how money comes back in. And with this opportunity, I saw it not only for that, but additionally for me to get into an operator seat and, put that hat on and kind of feel those, aches and pains of being an operator. Because I think, as an investor, you could sit in this like lofty seat and point out everything that's wrong and tell somebody to go fix it. But when you're in the operator chair, you got to go fix it.
Right.
You're under the gun. So it's been a very rewarding experience for me so far. We've been in business for a little over 3 months, and we made a ton of progress. And I'm really excited about the commercial opportunity, again, because cities are passing legislation that is effectively banning plastic straws for restaurant, hospitality groups, food service, entertainment venues, and they'll all need solutions. So I'm excited about the opportunity to provide that for them.
That's awesome. So what is some advice that you would give to athletes who are looking to transition either in the tech space, as an entrepreneur, or an investor?
I would say leverage the platform, whether it be the NBA or the NFL or the MLB. Understand, one, that your organization, your coach, your team, they're going to get everything that they possibly can out of you. So you need to make sure that you figure out how to extract value for yourself as well. And that can come in various forms. And there's some homework and some studying, self-actualization that needs to be done on your part to figure out what it is that you exactly want. But the platform in itself of just being a professional athlete, I think, is enormous. And as I mentioned, when I was going through this whole exploratory phase, literally in my subject line, I would write Ryan Mundy, Chicago Bear. And people would open that email because they've seen, I don't know if they really cared about Ryan Mundy, but when you combine that with Chicago Bears, like, hey, like, let me see what this guy wants. And that's all I really needed. And that's all I was really asking for. And then from there, the responsibility was mine to make sure that I came to the table with a conversation of substance. And that's the other thing. When folks do take that meeting or they do respond to that email, you have to make sure that you're bringing something to the table and not wasting your time and also that other person's time. Because, a lot of folks would love to chat with athletes, but I think the responsibility falls on us to really lead and guide that conversation, because most folks just don't know what to do or how to interact with athletes outside of the context of a playing field or a court or a stadium. And so, it's particularly important for athletes to guide that. And then just lastly, just tap into that self-confidence of being an elite performer at a very high level. And what I mean by that is not necessarily from a physical standpoint. That's obviously very important. But tap into the mentality that allowed you to go out and perform physically. And so, like, in my circumstance, and I always use the example of running into folks, I don't think a lot of people in their normal workplace would be very comfortable with that physical, combative type nature that I subjected myself to for 24 years in total. But I can no longer do that in the workplace, but I still can tap into some of those characteristics and intrinsics that allowed me to do that for an extended period of time and have some success doing it. And so, like, grit, determination, focus, discipline, that's who I am at my core, and that's what allowed me to be a great football player. And now I need to pick that up, repurpose it, and put it into a business context, and hopefully those same characteristics will propel me to a great business career.
I mean, you're speaking from an athlete's perspective, but I'm sure the everyday person who is interested in making that transition can apply these tips as well.
If somebody is interested in finding out more about your products or services, where can they go?
Yeah, so Tech Lead Ventures is still up and running. I have some interesting plans and working on what scale looks like for that business moving forward. That's under lock and key right now, but it is some exciting stuff with the website for, what I'm up to in that space is www.techlead.co. So you can head over there and just check out my high-level thesis. And then also, if you would like to practice sustainability on an individual level, or if you're a large business, restaurant, hospitality, whatever, we are at www.swizzle.com, SWZLE.com.
Thanks again, Ryan, for jumping on the line with us and letting us know everything you've got going on with Swizzle and your transition from the NFL to tech.
This is The Plug.
You know who's the plug.
It's time to get caught up on the hottest in tech.
Keep it locked, you heard?
With Sequoia Blodgett.
I see you, little mama.
All right, so I know you guys have been streaming a lot of content, but I have the plug for you. There is this bomb show that's coming to Showtime. It's an original comedy series called Black Monday from executive producers Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg. It's 1968 Wall Street. Bad fashion, big hair, and even bigger egos. The Old Boys Club has all the power until an unruly group of underdog traders decides it's their turn to be on top and accidentally causes the biggest stock market crash in history. It's starring Don Cheadle, Andrew Reynolds, and Regina Hall. And Black Monday premieres Sunday, January 20th at 10 p.m. only on Showtime, and it is going to be fire.